I thought, oh, I wanted my sister-in-law to come because she has a lot of stress, but she couldn't come, so I came and I want to relate what I learned and give it to her. I've lived a long life. I'm 95 years old. Oh. I got arthritis, but life is wonderful. Isn't it wonderful? Yes. You only 78.
I'm watching you. I'm following you.
How about you? Fine. That's the boss. All right, you're smart man. Diane?
Hello, I am Diane Pujil. I used to live in Manoa, then I moved to Kaka'ako, and then now I'm living in Kahalu. But as I was driving on the way over, I was telling Jimmy, I was kind of sad because I saw a lot of different businesses were closed, businesses that I used to patronize. But the one thing that I'm so happy is this mindful group has been in existence. I don't know how many years, but thank you to Jimmy and to Bruce and whoever else is responsible. Yeah. Melanie, thank you so much. You know,
Lots of people.
there are things we can count on that really help us, keep us young at 94, 78, 95, 96, 97, 100. But, you know, things that we can count on, and to be among positive, wonderful people is part of the greatest joy of living. So
Like the music from Titanic. It will go on and
What's that?
yes.
Thank you for coming. I haven't seen you in a long time, so it's interesting. Joy?
Yes, my name is Joy Almoro, and I was born and raised here in Hawaii, minus 19 cold winters in Washington State. And I've been back for 14 years now. So I'm so happy to be back to Hawaii and being a Kama'aina.
You were always a Kama'aina.
Yeah, even when I was there. Yeah.
Great.
Hi, my name is Becky. I am a Maryknoll sister, and born and raised in East Africa, Tanzania, Kilimanjaro. And I'm so happy that Sister Bitrina and Sister Ernest invited me to come because I live in Manoa, but I walk every day, every night here, but I have no idea what was inside here. So this is a nice way for me to connect and to know what's going on. Thank you.
Welcome. How many times you
It's
like?
not quiet.
No, it's fine.
Ernest?
I'm Sister Ernest Chong. I'm a Maryknoll sister, like Sister Bitrina. I grew up in Hong Kong, but I came to Hawaii in 1970. So most of my life it's been in Hawaii, except a few years that I'm back to our center in New York. And most of my time here in Hawaii, I worked at Catholic Charities. I'm back here again from New York.
Wonderful. Good to see you.
Thanks.
Melanie, you want to say a few words?
I'm Melanie Milikia, born but not raised here. Until I came back when I had a dream that said move back to Hawaii, so I did. Quit my job, dropped everything, and moved back. And been very happy to be back again. Actually, the thing I want to mention is, usually, since I'm recording this, I will keep only the camera faced ahead, but then every once in a while, I have a reason to face it into the audience. I want to know if there's anyone who objects if this happens. Is everyone okay if it does? Okay. All right, thank you. That's it for me. Beth?
My turn?
Yep.
I'm Beverly. I was born in Hawaii and moved away and returned in 2004 to the family home. And it's still standing.
It was built in 1934.
Where is that?
It's by the university. It wasn't easy coming back. And then now, because of what's happening weather-wise every place else, I'm thinking maybe it was a good idea.
Yeah, Hawaii is really a paradise when you think about it.
Okay.
Richard?
Yes, hi, my name is Richard Hennessy, and good to see you, Sister Bitrina and Sister Ernestine. I ran an Anthony DeMello group at the convent, if you will, here in Manoa with Sister John Chatfield, who unfortunately passed a few years ago. And I'm originally from the Boston area, and I followed my wife to Madison, Wisconsin, and I followed her to Manoa, and now to St. Louis Heights, so that's where we live. And I'm a clinical social worker, and besides running Anthony DeMello book studies, I run 2 of them a week. I teach mindfulness-based stress reduction. And I do that at the Bodhi Tree Dharma Center, which is over in, by St. Francis Hospital. And I've been coming here, I think since 2015. And when Jimmy needed to form a board, I volunteered, so I'm the VP. It's been really lovely to be part of this group, so thank you, Jimmy, thank you all.
Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Susan Ford, and I was born and raised here for 71 years. I did visit Tanzania and loved it. I loved it. It was one of the most beautiful countries in Africa. I'm retired from the state, and I've been in the field of vocational rehabilitation. That means finding jobs for adults with disabilities. And it's not only jobs, it's careers. You know, so I did that, and I visited this place. My first time was, I want to say in like 2008. But you know, every time I come here, it's like coming home. I have that feeling, so, you know, I really am fortunate that I met Jimmy Tuyama, because else I wouldn't be here. But now I come every month, so thank you, Jimmy.
Hey, you're welcome.
I think his parents.
Yeah.
Joanne?
Hello, I'm Joanne Tachibana, and I'm so delighted that I met Jimmy a few years ago for mindfulness. I do peace work with the United Nations Association, and Jimmy and I have collaborated in the past. In an upcoming event, Jimmy sent a notice out for our Nagasaki commemoration, the 30th anniversary, and that's something we've been doing for 30 years, and it'll be at the City Hall. So you're all welcome to come, and that's our connection to making the world a better place. So thank you.
So if you can make it out, I encourage you to go. It's a wonderful experience. You ring the bell too, right, Joanne?
Yes, oh yes. Yeah, the Nagasaki peace community donated a peace bell to the city and County Honolulu, and to St. Petersburg, Russia, and one in China, with Japanese, you know, really devastated those countries. So the Nagasaki community, peace community, sent bells to each country as a symbol of peace. And so we've been doing that with the bell, and the city and county finally accepted it. So it's at the base of the parking lot next to in their city hall. So
Didn't you just have a program there, Joanne?
I'm sorry?
Did you just have a program, or you're about to have a program?
Oh, it's August 8th.
August 8th.
Tuesday, yeah.
At the Bell.
Doesn't that ring a bell, Roger?
It does.
Something,
That's why I said it.
something on August
She rang my bell.
6th?
6, 7, and
August
8.
6th, 7,
6th,
and 8.
on August 6th?
I remember that
You
too.
can start with
I
that.
thought you were going to mention that, Susan.
Yeah, I was, you know, so I raised my hand, but Jimmy didn't call me, so I
She she thinks she's still in elementary school. Calling her to-
Competition is just thunderous here. Susan?
Yes, so on August the 6th, out in Waianae at the Lokahi Center, this is going to be the 21st annual forgiveness celebration where we celebrate forgiveness heroes of 2023. Okay, so please come out. It's from 1 to 3. I know it's in Waianae, but if you haven't been in Waianae for a long time, it's beautiful out there. You know. So please come out next week Sunday. And Roger, as I understand, I guess formed Hawaii Forgiveness Project that that organizes this celebration. So thank you, Roger.
I didn't actually form it, but I inherited it.
Okay.
About 20 some years ago.
Wow.
And now, by the way, we're changing that from the Hawaii Forgiveness Project. In October, we're going to start the Hawaii Happiness Project.
Any reason why that's happening?
Yeah, Jimmy, it was a number of things. One, I went to Bhutan in 2018, and I met with the people who set up the program there for gross national happiness. And the idea is they were coming into the mainstream world from third world in Bhutan. Just 750,000 people in this mountainous place, but surrounded by India and China. And they saw them coming into that, and they said, you know, we don't want sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And what you measure, you get. So we got GDP, and we got all kinds of products, but we're not happy. And the king of Bhutan, it's a kingdom, traveled all over the world, and that's what he saw. People had a lot of material goods, they weren't happy. And so he said, what we want is happiness, let's measure it. And they got a Vietnamese professor to come in some years later. It started kind of 80, I think. But anyway, he came in and he set up a whole program to measure gross national happiness for the country. Shortly after that, I took a class at Yale University on happiness. And it's the most popular class in the history of Yale University. And then I started thinking, you know, in the United States, we fought a war against Britain for 3 reasons: freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So that was one of the 3 most important things. And so then it hit me this. We had one more, I won't go too much longer. So there's a wonderful kupuna on the Big Island, Auntie Keolaniau Henry. And she came to one of our forgiveness programs, and she said, look, if you want to have a good life, a Pono life, you need to do 2 things: forgive and be grateful. So I took that to heart. We had forgiveness. We always trying to add a little gratitude. But then I realized that those are just means to an end. The end is happiness. That's really what everybody wants. So we're going to look at happiness from every culture. We're then going to see what people think makes up happiness. And then we're going to have a bunch of groups, because one of the things that we've seen for happiness is to be in service with other people. So we hope to become a hub for different projects where everyone can volunteer and participate here in Hawaii. And people of different ethnicities and cultures working together. So, and it fits in also with the interfaith work that we've been doing. So that's the plan.
Good.
Thank you.
Is that Vietnamese guy from, who used to be the director?
Well, he was going to go, he was going to get an award at Harvard. We were going to get him to stop here, but that didn't work out. And so now we're just moving along. Someday we'll get him out here for sure. Yeah. And maybe the woman who runs the program at Yale too, come out and talk to us about that.
We have a meeting coming up, I think, with the East Coast Center president.
Yeah, I know. I want to talk to them.
Let's talk to them about that.
Yeah, good. And the idea, in my mind, is to blend gross national happiness with aloha.
It's beginning to happen.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Yes.
And while you were making an announcement, giving a plug, Joy, you have your book here. Why don't you talk a little bit about your book? And
well, back in 2018, I was so honored to receive a Forgiveness Hero Award through the Hawaii Forgiveness Project. And because of that, it led me to write a book about forgiveness and loving yourself. So the title of my book is called Stop Shaming Yourself, is the main title, and then the subtitle is Healing Your Trauma and Abuse by Forgiving and Loving Yourself, Loving Your Life. And this is a project that I was working on for decades, but when I received sorry, I'm getting a little emotional, but when I received the Forgiveness Hero Award, it was life-changing. So I am a true believer, and forgiveness and gratitude leads to happiness. So
is it available on Amazon?
Not yet. Yeah, but on next week's Sunday, I'll bring it with me at the Forgiveness Day.
Okay.
But no, it's not on Amazon
we can
yet.
let everybody know that the book is available on Amazon.
Yeah, it will eventually, but I haven't set that up yet. I just got the books like 2 weeks ago.
It's a very powerful book.
Yes, yeah. I tell my story, and then it's a toolkit. Because originally I wanted it to be a toolkit to help people to overcome abuse and trauma. And my book coach said no. He said, write the book first. I said, well, can we do both? He said, sure. So it's both. But I'm so grateful to the Hawaii Forgiveness Project that is now called Hawaii Happiness Project. So that's great. That's exciting.
Well, we're going to get you to write a book on happiness.
Okay, that's going to be my next book.
All right.
Susan, you want to talk about your February conference?
Sure. So in February, February 2024, we're having a conference, Ho'omau Keolaniau.
2024, the dates can change.
No.
February
2024.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And so the title of the conference is Ho'omau Ke'aloha. And what that means is, returning to your natural self. And it was translated to me by Dr. Manulani Meyer. And I met Dr. Meyer here in Manoa. And so she gave me that translation. So what does that mean? This conference is 3 days, and we're going to have Dr. Frederick Luskin, who's going to be speaking on the Forgive for Good. His book and his, methodology, which I have been facilitating and training since 2017, and has really worked for me. It will be also based upon Dr. Jerry Japolsky's attitudinal 12 principles of attitudinal healing, and it will be all undergirded by aloha. Because that's why I think that both of those programs have worked really well in Hawaii, because people here, I don't want to say that we all understood, because I didn't really understood, even if I was born and raised here, the true meaning of aloha. And so we're having that. Yeah, I was brought up with aloha, aloha, right? And so, who's going to be here is Governor John Wahe'e. He spoke last week, and when he spoke, it was so awesome, because then I learned for the first time after 71 years how the aloha spirit came into law. So we're having him as the keynote speaker so that all the people of Hawaii and everywhere can understand. Because if you like storytelling, that's what he does. And in a really nice and funny way, yeah? So if you like stories, so please come to the conference. I do have, flyers, little handouts here that you can go to the conference website.
Thank you, Susan. By the way, Governor Wahe's talk when he was here last month, a couple weeks ago, will be uploaded, I think, in the process of being uploaded, and it will be out to the public soon. And he was very happy about it being out to be shown. Okay? And then our little show, my Kumuhula was supposed to, that I was going to interview, couldn't make it, so I invited Susan and Joy to come on. And they were on the show. And so it's going to be on next month, so you might want to look forward to that. And then the newsletter is going to come out, I think, next month. Is that right?
Yep, that's the plan. Mid-month.
And if anybody wants to write a piece for the newsletter, there's an invitation out there, right?
Well, there's always an open invitation, both in the newsletter, and usually I talk about it at the meeting too, but I thought because I always talk about it, I would skip it this time. But since you brought it up, so we're always looking for voices from the community. And Carol brought up, is it only Oahu? And that's a very excellent question, thank you. No, it's not. So if you know anyone from the Outer Islands, please give them an invitation too. Personal experiences are good. They don't have to be like the full-on article, because actually I've gotten the most comments from people who responded to this personal experiences. It helps people understand, either if you had trouble or you had a great experience, you know, those are what bring it home. But anything else, resources, if you hear of something that's going on someplace and you think it's really great, send that in. Have a quote that you like, send that in. If you're an artist, send it in. No guarantees that any of these will get printed or when, but send it all in and I will respond to you. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then another announcement is that the concept paper for the Mindful Warrior project is done, at least the first draft. And when it gets reviewed a little bit more, we will share it with all of you. So maybe the September meeting may be extended, and we may have a presentation on it and then a conversation to follow after that. So be open to that. The meeting for that day may be a little longer than usual, so maybe half an hour or something. Okay? And then, what else? Anybody else have any announcement?
When is the Olelo thing kind of the one that we were on?
Okay, the premiere showing will be on the evening of the first Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. on Channel 53.
53.
And thereafter, it will be on a Wednesday afternoon, 12:30 p.m. on Channel 53. And it'll run for the full month. Okay?
So this is next week, Tuesday.
Huh?
Next week, Tuesday.
Yeah, first Tuesday of the month.
First Tuesday. Okay, thank you.
I don't know, but you know, Olelo is going through some transition right now. And they're having a little difficulty with them. But they've been very nice though. So, but it'll come up. Yes, Susan.
So I want to say something on behalf of Melanie. You know, Melanie, one of the forgiveness heroes had written his story, and Melanie really helped him shape that story up. And so it's, so I just want to say that she's helpful in many ways. So don't be shy if you don't know how to write, So please send them your stories or anything else you have in your community.
Thank you. I read that story. It came out in the newsletter.
Yep.
I read that story. Okay. One final thing that I want to mention before I ask Sister Bitrina to come up is that after the meeting is called, I need to put the chairs together and bring it over here. Okay. So Richard, you being the VP, maybe you can take charge of that. Anyway, today I'm so happy to have Sister Bitrina Kirway here. I've known her for a few years now. And I think Sister was here earlier, sometime before you had a meeting, and you shared with us some of your thoughts about the heart. And then since then, I've been sort of encountering her out in the community. And I thought maybe it'd be a good time to bring her back and have her talk more about, in depth about the importance of the heart. And everybody thinks that the heart is basically a muscle that performs a function in the body, but it's more than that. And so, and this is what I was talking to Bitrina about, that maybe our goal today is to impart the message that the heart is more than just a muscle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just let Sister Bitrina just do her thing here. Okay?
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you. How many of you remember that I was here before? Was it Richard? I remember Richard. I was with you at another collection.
Oh, many times.
Many times, yeah. But anyway, thank you so much. Thank you for the introduction and for your stories that you share. Those announcements actually are topic for today, because it's about going back. What you, I think was one of you said over here about wanting to go back to who we really are. Ho'omau.
Okay, aloha.
Okay, aloha. So that's really it is, because it's about heart. Because the heart, our heart, the physical heart you have here. Can you feel the heartbeat? Try to feel your heartbeat. Okay, if you can feel your heartbeat, raise your hand. If you cannot feel heartbeat, it's okay too. Because oftentimes we don't just tap and then we feel it. Thank you. I'm not a nurse, I'm not a doctor, so physical heart, what a heart does to you physically, that's not my part. But I am going to talk to you about the heart, what has to do with emotions, which is part of who we are too. Where do we keep our emotions? Are they on our heads, in our backs? They are right here. We keep them here, emotions. Emotions are not good or bad. Emotions are emotions. Now, every culture, every nationality, every tribe, every religion, everyone, the heart is known to be the center of the spirit, the center of who we are, the center of love, care, compassion, appreciation, empathy, and many other things. That's basic. If I said here, oh, Uncle has a big heart, do I really mean that he has a physical big heart? What do I mean by that? You have a big heart.
Means you're loving and caring,
loving and caring,
empathetic and affectionate.
Yeah. Auntie's heart goes out to everyone. Really? Does your physical heart went out?
No. I'm concerned about everyone.
Concerned about everyone. That's what we wanted to go back to. That's the heart. That's our heart. But at the same time, this very heart, we collect things and things stays here. There are things that we receive that we have no control over. Even changes in our lives. We have a lot of changes happen, but that we have no control. It happens. And so what happens? We get overwhelmed. We get stressed because we don't know what to do. We get anxious, worry. We get excited also, joyful. It's all here. But even just because every life has its challenge, it's all in the Northern Islands. But every heart has an answer. I believe that, and I can say this comfortably, that every life has its challenge, but every heart has an answer. How do we tap into that? We believe, I believe too, we do this because our hearts is full of wisdom. It's full of wisdom, but also we have a heart that is full of intelligence. Not the head intelligence. I have nothing against our brains. The brain thinks, but the heart knows. We think. We use our brain to think. But our heart knows. What you and I are asked to do in this case is to listen to that wisdom of the heart, and to follow. What do we tell our children, or our friends, or family members, if they cannot figure out about something? What do we say?
Follow your heart.
Follow your heart. Listen to your heart, what your heart is saying. Then follow your heart. You don't have to worry about anything else. It's very easy to say, but how often do we follow our hearts? So when we follow our hearts, when we listen to our heart, what do we get? According to the Heart Math Institute, I'm not sure how many of you, by the way, I'm going to take it back. How many of you are familiar with Heart Math? Very great. It's very good. It's true. So the Heart Math Institute, there are two big branches. There's the Center for Research, and another center within the Heart Math is for training. And that's where I went. But the research is to validate what we already know. These things I'm talking about, they are not new stuff. We have been using them. We have known since our generations and past generations, and over and over and over. At the same time, the stress and anxiety and overwhelm and chaotic is increasing. Why? Why? The changes that are happening. What I do know is that changes that are happening around us, most of those changes we have no control over. Especially, we will learn that any human beings having a changes, that's not easy to follow. But especially the changes that are out that we have no control of. So then what happens? Then we get stressed. We get overwhelmed. We get anxious. We get impatient. We get irritated. All things are happening is because we cannot control. But I'm not suggesting that we control our heart. What we are being asked of us is to listen to the heart, to pause. To pause and pay attention and listen to your heart. When we listen to the heart, we listen to the wisdom of the heart and to learn the intelligence of the heart. Now, the intelligence of the heart is not the intelligence that we read in the book or the one we read from our heads. It's the intelligence that our hearts offer to us. If you can get it. I'm going to get to that part, what this intelligence